What's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm good. So we've known each other a while. And I remember when you started out, well, I didn't know you, but I just remember like taking a vehicle to you guys or something, like probably when I was in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just to see what you built over the course of, what's 20 almost 20 years that I've seen.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I just want to kind of talk about everything, man. Tell me how you got into this field. And I know you do a lot of stuff now, but like just in the automobile world.
Well, everything that I've ever got into business-wise started out in the car business.
Okay.
It always led from it. Like even my real estate stuff started out with getting default list of cars from the banks. And one of them one day had some properties on it, and I bought some properties from them, and that's how I started my property business.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much everything that I've ever done stemmed off the car business.
And you got into like when you first guys, were y'all getting into like just doing mechanic work or like?
Yeah, that's what I started. I was a mechanic by trade.
Is that something you did like from a young age, or you just decided you wanted to do it?
No, so it's one of the things where you got interested in cars as a young kid, and we worked, mowed yards and stuff, so I could buy parts, but I didn't make enough money to pay anybody to do it. So when you can buy the parts and you want to do stuff, you just have to learn how to do it because we could buy the parts and put them on, So that's how I got to doing it. And so started out as when I was 12, 13 years old, when I grew up in my hometown. The family car, which my grandmother bought brand new and then passed to my mom and then passed to my dad as a work car. Then when my dad got something, we used it to run around Sibley, our hometown. And then go to the ballpark, stuff like that, at 12, 13 years old, take the back roads, and then the starter went out on it, so he's back to foot. And it sat back behind the house for a couple months, and then I asked Dad, I was like, now what we got to do to get the old Lincoln going? And he said, well, if you pull the starter off, I'll get it rebuilt, you put it back on. It's actually the first thing I ever turned a wrench on. And so I was hooked after that, got it running, started driving it again, started fixing the car up, and I still got it. I still have my first car.
Yeah, I've seen that. So, it's OG. It's nice too.
And so what's crazy about probably 5 years ago, we was getting ready to paint it for the last, the one final time. Every other time I restored the car was kind of on a budget. This time I wanted to do it 100%, how I wanted to do it. Well, they were getting it ready, and I was going to pull in the shop and paint it, and I get back from lunch, and they still don't have it ready. I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh, man, the starter went out. I was like, what? And so I said, where's the starter you took off? He said, oh, I think it's at the parts house. And I said, go get it. He came back a while later, like, why am I picking up an old starter? I said, that's the starter I put on when I was 12 years old.
It lasted that long?
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to keep it, so it's hanging on the wall in the shop. And so that's pretty cool. But that's how we got, and from that's history. I got hooked in the cars, been hooked into them ever since. So I'm a mechanic by trade.
Right.
That's what I did for years, and hell, I still do a pretty good bit. I didn't today, but there's not very few a day I don't work on something.
Yeah. And so that's progressed into what you guys have now, which is, I know you have multiple different businesses, but I guess the main thing that I'm excited to talk about is like classic car restoration. Mm-hmm. So, dude, I can talk about this. We got about an hour today. I can talk about it for a lot of hours, but let's jump right into that. What does that look like now?
Well, so we have a full restoration shop. We have a full body shop, a full trim shop that does upholstery, a garage. We just added a tent, and then I met with another guy. We're going to start doing custom stereo and audios too, which we already did some audio and stereo, but this is going to take it up another level, with a true guy that's been doing this for 25 years. That's all he's done is car stereo. So,
okay.
Because we like to be able to do everything in-house for a bunch of reasons. One, to service the customers better, and keep it on our timeline. We have to sub anything out. We're on somebody else's timeline, and we need it on our timeline to stick to what we told our customers we could do.
What does that look like when you bring a car in? Like, what are your limitations, I guess?
At this point, we're really not limited by anything.
So you'll take it. Take something that's been sitting in a field for 20 years.
Yeah, we'll take that. We've done it all. I told people that I'm not a financial advisor, so I'll put helicopter propellers on it if you want it.
Yeah.
We'll do anything.
So what is that walk me through that process, because there's so many people that one, I think they don't realize how much goes into restoration, because they watch I grew up watching Trucks or whatever that show was on the damn, and then the Pimp My Ride shit came out.
Yeah, and they were done in a couple days. Right.
And I guess realistic. if you took your entire team and you had a strategic plan, that would be doable. But
we built stuff fast before. Right. It depends on what it is.
Right.
A lot of it, depends on how much work the vehicle needs. Like we built a a 29T bucket last year was on a time frame, and we built it in 7 days, start to finish. But it's a 29T bucket. You know, there ain't a whole lot to that car. So we built it pretty fast.
A rolling chassis, a cab, and a motor.
We built it fast. But the most of the time, you know, they take around 12 months to build a car, you know, start to finish.
And so what does that process look like? Like if you're, so say I'm a customer, I say, okay, look, man, I got a, let's just say a car I want to build. Like I got a 70 Chevelle. I feel like, well, here's what I want your opinion on, because I feel like I'm scared shitless to go buy something that's just been sitting up for 30 years. I feel like I would rather buy something that was like partially restored and then bring it and say, let's strip it back down and do it right. Is that the right move or no?
Well, my absolute favorite way to build a car is buy a Survivor, which is one that's still running and driving.
That hasn't been modded.
Has not been touched ever. It's just a true Survivor.
So like original.
Yeah.
Even if it's 200,000 miles on it.
Right. Those are my favorite ones to build for a whole bunch of reasons. One.
Well, let's go through them.
Yeah. Well, number one reason is everything's usually there to start with.
Okay.
So you're not missing a bunch of stuff or bolts or brackets or trim pieces that are impossible to find for some cars. I mean, some cars you can get anything for. Some cars you can't. Some stuff we got to make.
Yeah.
You know, and that gets expensive. You know, if you got to custom make something that fabricated from thin air, it's expensive.
Yeah.
But so I like to buy we buy stuff, because I buy a lot of cars and restore them and sell them. That's probably half of our business. The other half is building cars for other people. But so when I buy something, I try to buy Survivor cars. You know, so we build a lot of cars that were drug out of the woods, but mainly those are like something that was sentimental to somebody.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go buy another car to replace it because it was grandma's or, you know, your first car or something that has some kind of sentimental value. So we got to build those. That's an expensive way to build it, because you got to start over, and the body work and the prep time, any, you know, metal work's got to be done. That's the time consuming part. So usually the car comes in, it goes to the body shop, and they de-trim it and take all the chrome and you know, take that part of the car apart. Then it goes to trim shop pulls his part out. And then just, you know, depending on what we're doing drivetrain wise, then it goes to the garage and it starts, they pull the motor and transmission or whatever, you know, we're doing to it. And then they get their part done, running and driving, and just goes backwards through the shop. Then it goes to trim, and then it goes to body.
Got you. Okay.
Then it leaves body and goes back to trim to finish it out.
So you don't have like 3 or 4 guys that are jacks of all trade working on everything. It's more like you have.
I mean, I have some that could do everything.
Right, but you have like
I have them separated.
Different shops.
Right, and they go through different, you know, they're at different levels all the time, you know, for what they're getting done to them. And if it's more custom, there's another set of guys that work for me that just do like straight custom stuff. So if it's getting bagged or, you know, tubbed or something like that, that's a different than in the garage than the guys that just pull motors and put it back in.
What have you seen? It's funny because I'm like steadily messing with like the car show stuff, and like we'll put stuff on, whether it be out here or associated with something we have going on. But it's funny to see, just being involved with a couple of those every year, the transition, getting away from like the 70s and 60 model vehicles, and then people are like getting really heavy into like these C10s.
Well, all these cars are generational.
Right.
And so I tell people all the time, just be patient. If it's something that they, you know, it's coming. The price will come. It's like, take like a C3 Corvette, you know, hell, that, you know, 10 years ago, they were still pretty inexpensive. We're watching them climb and climb and climb to where in another 4 or 5 years, they'll be as valuable as the C2 Corvettes.
Yeah.
And so the early.
What C3, what year model is that?
68 to 82.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's a couple different variations along from.
Then you had the shit one there in
C4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nobody.
That was all the way to like 94,
96.
96. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
horrible.
C5 came out.
That's a shit Camaro year too, and
yeah,
it's all the same pretty much thing.
Yeah.
Firebirds, all of them same.
Yeah. The Firebird was a little better than the.
Do you have a
Corvette.
restoration on any of those now, like the 80s stuff?
We do some of the IROC stuff, you know, like the
the IROC
the 80s, the 80s TAs and the.
Dude, they just were slow.
Very slow, but we just did one last year that we did a LS swapping. That wound up being a nice car. He kind of did it Knight Rider style.
Okay,
cool
yeah,
car.
nice.
Yeah, and so the late model engine swaps are changing the game for everything. And it's adding value to cars that never had much value, you know. So they're not doing that to the C4 Corvette, but they've done it to a lot of other cars, especially all the IROC stuff, Camaros and the Trans Ams from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because they were really slow. And so putting a late model motor in them not only makes them way more reliable, it makes them fun to drive.
Are you doing like mainly? This is something I've contemplated on because I was having this conversation with someone. Well, you know Brian Meeker.
Oh yeah.
Because he bought that. I don't know if you've talked to him lately. Well, he bought that. He had that old Chevelle, and he sold it, and he ended up finding it and bought it back. Well,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's restored it. And I was fucking with him the other day because he's got it. It's going to it's going somewhere because he wants this custom dash set up or whatever. But I was like, dude, you're doing all this and it's done. Other than that, he's got to finish the electric and do that. So I mean, probably done by December. But I was like, dude, if you put AC in that thing, he's like, no, I don't need no AC. I'm dude, you're spending all that money on a fucking like a whole resto mod. I was
Why
like,
would
you're
you
not
not
adding
put
AC.
air in it?
And he's like, well, I might. And I was like, no, dude, I'll pay for the AC. I said, well, I was at the shop. Let's go ahead and add one of those under dash kits or something.
Yeah, you gotta have AC, especially around here. You ain't gonna drive it.
Yeah, but have you
You're gonna
seen,
talk about driving it, but you ain't gonna
dude,
drive
no,
it.
man. I mean, it's just like
We put AC in every one we build. I don't have one without AC.
yeah, dude. I mean, why would you not? Especially if you're putting money in it,
Right.
I mean, unless you just want it to be OG. But I mean, all of them still had the capability
this
to add
point, yeah.
to add it. You know.
Yeah, unless you're restoring 30s and 40s cars, they came with air conditioner much past that.
Yeah. So what have you? I guess what's the most popular thing you've seen over over the past just 10 years on restoration? Like as far as like model, I guess, or would it be like a classification? Is it more like sports? Like is it a specific model car? Like what is it?
What's coming up on like the most popular restored?
Yeah.
Well, 10 years ago, everybody was restoring 67, 68, 69 Camaros, and then
Right.
they were doing, Road Runners and Chevelles and all them. Now we're going to a lot on the truck scene. C10s are getting real popular.
Dude, those C10s are really nice if you do
killing
them
it.
right.
Yeah.
Like I was at a show we did, and there was a guy that had a black one. I don't remember his name or anything where he came from, but I was like, dude, if I offered you like, what would you take right now? He's like 85,000, and I was like,
Yeah.
but it was worth it, dude. When I looked
was it
at
resto modded? Did it have like a LS or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was. I'm talking about pristine,
Yeah.
like frame,
Well,
everything.
That's what they're bringing.
Yeah.
And then we're actually watching a lot of, and it's kind of my style, but like the sleds are going up in value. Resto
Like
modded sleds like
the
like
90.
slab side. Well, like the slab side Lincoln.
Oh yeah,
like a suicide door Lincoln.
What year model is
About
that?
61 to
60
67. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are getting super. They were popular, but now that
I
the
thought you were
resto
talking about like them long ass Cadillacs in the 90s and late 80s or
No,
whatever.
but the 70s are,
Yeah.
which is my style, was like the late 70s Lincolns were mine. I got
Yeah.
a bunch of those. But they're getting more popular, 'cause people are bagging them, resto modding them, and they're just, you think now that you can resto mod them, you can drive them anywhere. People that's why they want them now. You resto mod a car, you're not limited. You can take off to Dallas.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm going to do anything, I just recently, I've had 2 restorations going on. So like I finished, I don't know if I told you about this or not, but I think I did. I had that T100 in my grandfather. So it's bring no value. You can't sell that thing for like, I probably have maybe 25 in it, 30 in it. I could never get that for it just because it's not a sought after vehicle. But those were trucks that would run until they fell, like literally until the wheels fell off.
Right.
And then we recently restored a Jeep, which I think I was about to get a motor in it right when I talked to you or whatever. But I've redone the suspension. I've got that thing as best as I could to where it's lifted, stable lift on it, good motor, good transmission, good rear end, good suspension. And I could drive it from here to Florida, and it would be the most comfortable ride you could get out of a TJ,
Right.
Without putting street tires on. It's got all terrains now, but like, but to say that is like anything I want to restore, like moving forward, I want to go to an older vehicle because I just have like a 96 and a 04, and saying that's a restoration is funny.
It is
because it's only 21 years old, and it's like. Man, that's crazy to think about, but that's a long damn time
Right, it's
for
a
life
classic.
for a life of a vehicle. Technically, yeah.
yeah.
And so, but now I want to go back and do something like I always wanted a '55 Chevy truck.
Yeah.
Always, but and I know those are getting a little not as popular. Those
but
older ones.
The 40s have fell off.
Yeah.
The 30s fell off, but the 50s are still pretty strong, especially the late 50s.
Okay.
And then the 60s are still strong.
Yeah, I think I've always wanted to do
Anything
one of
that's
those.
done resto modded is still bringing big money. We did a 71 F-150 last year with a Coyote swap, and it brought big money.
Like what kind of what are we talking about? Like
90,000.
whoo.
Yeah.
And where are you running all these at? Like, are you private partying some of these things? You taking them to Mecum?
Most of them we list them online, and if we don't sell them any amount of time, I might run them to Mecum and all. But we don't do a lot with. I do some with Mecum, especially like if I finish a car that I wanted to sell and it's close to like a local one, like where Houston or Dallas is running, we might scoot one over there. But man, most of the time when we list something like a C2 we build, it ain't for sale 48 hours and we got it sold.
On like those auctions, like are they oversaturated?
It's me and a buddy of mine had this conversation that runs an auction yesterday. It's a bunch of collectors swapping. Is what it boils down to.
That makes sense.
It's very few people that are trying to buy and sell and make any money.
Right.
It's really collectors that.
It's like, I want this. I'm gonna get rid of this. I've had it for a while.
But I mean, because it's a 20% hit. It's 10% on the sale, 10% on the buy.
Shit.
So I mean, damn, that's a pretty big. You know, be hard to be.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, if you bought a car for $85,000, you paid $8,500 on top of that.
Yeah.
And then the buyer paid $8,500.
That's before you even registered anything.
Right.
After
That's before you left.
Then
the
you got to
auction
pay
with
another
it.
10% at your state and get it titled.
That's
And shit, man.
Yeah. So it's a tough one, and they sell a bunch of cars, but I do that on stuff that would be difficult to sell retail. You know, like if I buy collections, that's how I like to buy cars, is in collections. Sometimes I get odd pieces that ain't really mainstream USA, and I don't really know what to do. It's hard to sell them, so I just run them through Macom, and what they bring, they bring.
Well, what do you think about these these old like Land Cruisers and stuff that are hitting pretty heavy? Like,
dude, I had a guy call me from Texas that built a couple, and he wanted me to try to sell them for him, but it's really not my market. But you did humor it and talk to him for a little bit about it, and he takes them old ones, redoes them, and he's got one of them for sale for like $115, and one of them. I'm like, who? I don't know who
they buy them. I don't know who they are, but they buy them. Like, I see them.
And it's super nice. They did a great job restoring it. Everything's new. Matter of fact, after they did all that, I don't know how they're making any money.
Yeah.
Even selling them for $120,000. They only got 115 in it.
That's crazy, man. I have a list of some cars I want to do. It's like I always want to do the 55 truck. I always wanted a Chevelle, but now that Brian's got one, I'm like, dude, I'll just drive his, and it makes me feel good.
What year is Brian's Chevelle?
It's a 70, I believe.
Yeah.
But it was originally yellow. I don't remember what color originally, but the guy had it was yellow. I think might have been yellow and Brian had it. Anyways, he's got it down to, it's a matte black, like a matte black silver, but then the racing stripes are gloss. Oh, it looks badass. And then it has like gloss black rims. And then it has, I don't know what motor, and I don't know if he put a fuel injection in it, but that brought the conversation up. It was like, dude, if I'm doing anyone, it's going to have good suspension, fuel injection, and air conditioning. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like
no reason not to.
Yeah. I mean, I get it for having original, but I don't know what motor's in it. I can't remember.
It ain't original anyway.
No, it's not.
So why if none of it's if not all original, then it don't matter if any of it's original.
With those two things, and then I've always wanted to build an excursion. If I could just find one, the problem is I'm steadily looking, and if you humor it, I might just bring it to you because I don't really know where to go with it. But it's like I want to find me a good one. If I can find a good one for 15, which the market 5 years ago you couldn't, but now I can.
Yeah.
But it's like I really just gotta put a new motor in it, man, because I like messing with, even if it is studded and deleted and all that on those, those was it 6.4s. Like,
well,
I would love to have a 7.3.
Yeah.
But with the newer suspension and so it's like I don't know. I would have to fab it, and you have a lot of these people who are putting like the new front ends on them.
Uh-huh.
That's cool, but I almost think I'd rather just have it original. This I don't know, but was it 6.4? Is it 6.4 or 6.0?
No, it'd be a 6.0.
6.0 that they were having a lot of issues with. That you got a stud
but
delete.
you can get a 7.3 still. You know, I'm doing one for Leighton.
Oh, you got that one?
Uh-huh.
Well, I know he told me he bought it. So
Yeah.
you have it?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing with it? Are you putting a diesel in it?
No, it's got a diesel.
It's two-wheel drive.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
drive.
But he showed me.
That's what's been tricky about lifting it.
I told him, yeah,
to find the kit for. Well, I can find like a 2 or 3 inch pretty easy. We found it and I got it, but it's the right lift, but it's not done the way I wanted to do it.
Right.
So we had to fab some stuff.
Got you.
To be able to do it correctly. But
he showed me too. It was a good deal. He's like, dude, I'm scooping this up. I was like, that's badass.
It is a good deal.
So what are y'all doing to it? Does he care? You
I don't know. I don't know if he cares or not.
Oh well.
But we're lifting it, putting bumpers on it. It was two-toned Eddie Bauer, so we blacked it all out.
Oh hell yeah!
Putting rims and tires on it, and
well, good. I want to do one, but I want it to be 7.3 and everything I have is black.
I had a 7.3 2000 model, back 20 years ago or whatever, and when it was my tow vehicle, I pulled everything. I freaking loved it.
Yeah,
I drove it everywhere.
Well, that's my thing. I would like to have that, and I could use it as a daily like the F-250. And I can still do all my shit out of it, whether I'm doing this or catering or pull the trailer.
Or whatever in it,
yeah, I can pull the trailer with it. But who still has theirs, I think, is Ken Hawley. Remember him?
Yeah.
Dude, they still have that thing.
That big jacked up one?
The black one, his wife was driving or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if they, Last time I saw him, he was in it. I was like, dude, y'all are still driving that
Shit,
thing.
man, I seen him. It wasn't that long ago. I seen it parked at the store.
Yeah.
I went through Minden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Parked on that little awning thing.
Yeah, dude, they've had it forever.
He's that thing forever. Yeah. He keeps stuff a long time too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to redo, but I'd definitely like to restore one of those, man. I don't know what it is. I've just always wanted one, and the price tag was always either too steep or like I couldn't find one that hadn't been rusted out, because you find those ones in certain areas that just the fucking bottom of the body's rusted out.
You gotta buy one from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it might even get one a 7.3 that's got a whole bunch of miles on it, man. Then
it'd be fine, yeah.
Then you can get either.
You just got to go through and fix the suspension and shit.
Suspension, and even if you got one and you needed to do some motor work, that wouldn't be a big deal. They're not that, as long as you have all the components, they're not that bad to rebuild.
Yeah,
the 7.3 ain't. So
yeah. That's probably what direction I would go. But what do you?
I'm not against the 6.0s, but you do got.
No, I am, because everyone, they've already done the work to them, but shit, that's 200,000 miles on that motor. Then it's like, you might as well just put a new motor in it.
Yeah.
And do a 7.3 swap or something.
If you can find a clean 7.3, that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, you're not the motor. I mean, what's the, I don't know what the ratios are, what's more power, displacement, and torque on both of those.
Oh, the 7.3's got a whole lot more torque.
But it's not.
The 6.0's got a little more horsepower.
That's what it is, yeah.
But it's also a lot smaller cubic inches. And so that's what's so hard on the 6.0 is it's 6 liter. So it's only 360 cubic inches.
You know what's crazy to me is that the towing capacity on those things are only like 11, 12,000.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because you would assume they would have the same towing capacity and gearing as the F-250, which would do like 16, 18.
Right.
It is weird.
Yeah. Some of it's how the suspension has to be done, because it's a full cab.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah. Where it rides a little better and shit. You don't have all that. You can
it's like 3/4 ton Suburbans. They didn't have quite the towing capacity either. But if you made them like the trucks, they beat you to death.
Those are another thing. I know you've seen this shit because you've been in this industry. I was like for a while, I was a kind of little like novice buy and sell. So especially like COVID like times, but even before that I was doing it, where I'd find a private party deal and I would do my own kind of little fixing up to it, whether it was if I had to get some body work done from somebody I knew, or if I had to do like you have to swap some, like one time I found an Explorer that I had to swap tie rod ends and struts on, and I flipped it for $3,000.
Yeah.
It only cost me like $800, $3,000 more than what I paid for it. But like, I would do shit like that. But like, man, I don't know. Have you noticed, this is one model I noticed that we're always like underselling, like those full drive Suburbans, man. They like never brought the value, the resale that I feel like they.
Well, and especially the 3/4
tons,
yeah,
which are
gas guzzlers.
That's the problem.
Fine. Yeah,
but they were badass.
They were 6.0s.
Yeah,
and so they were gas, and so they were little underpowered for a 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive. But like my mom had a 8.1 liter Suburban.
Holy shit!
And it was a stud.
I bet
you could pull anything with it.
I bet.
And so
I bet it's got 5 miles a gallon.
Yeah, like 7 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
But I think my Peterbilt got better. But she pulled her everything. That's when she was still doing Canton and stuff like that. So she drug shit everywhere with it. So, and that's a LS, so it's damn near bulletproof, and it had an Allison transmission just like the Duramax does. So cost of ownership over 5 years was significantly less than a Duramax.
I mean, it makes sense, yeah.
And it pulled just as good.
Yeah.
A lot of motorhomes have the 8.1.
Yeah, those things scare me with the motorhome thing, man. I just feel like if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to go and spend the extra 50 G's and get a diesel, man.
Yeah.
I feel like,
it's actually a totally different coach. So where the diesel pushers are actually a bus chassis.
Yeah. And
like the gas ones are on like a workhorse or something like that. So they're higher, they're top heavy. Yeah. And that's why they're less expensive.
Yeah.
But that is the V10 and the 8.1 are both good motors for.
What's your combo with people like Ford versus Dodge versus Chevy? Like, what does that combo hit for you?
Well, I mean, I have entertained this conversation a lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And so we.
But what's your like real stance on it? Like, because I don't give a shit either way. Honestly, I just like what I like.
They're all from the experience of doing this for a living.
Yeah,
and especially with my other car business as well, knowing what can take the beating and what can't. It's really your models. All of them have good years and bad years, and good models and bad models, good cars and bad cars. I mean, I like them all, but I can tell you which ones do and do not perform, and what years do and do not perform.
Yeah.
Ford had a bunch of bad years, but so did Dodge and Chevy. Chevy's had the most good years. There's not but a handful of years that were bad for Chevy.
Is that 5.3? There's always
5.3's a tough motor.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a couple things when they started moving into the where it would drop the cylinders been
the biggest bitch for all of them, right?
Yeah,
Dodge.
Chevrolet's screwed the pooch the most on it.
Okay, yeah.
The DOD lifters and all. We repaired one yesterday.
Are they? They're not doing any of that anymore, right? They're all.
They still do it. It's just
turbo.
done a little differently. It's not done the same way they did it then.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely improved. But from 08, 09 to 2012, 2013. It's not if that's going to happen to your car. It's when it's going to happen. It's 100% happening. So we literally did one yesterday on one of mine. And so it happens all the time.
Are you just doing it? Is that one you're getting rid of? Or?
It's one that's going on.
Like,
on
well, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah. So it came in as a recovery, and the shop checked it and was missing a cylinder. So they jerked the head and fixed it.
So that's another thing I'll mention, let you mention. You do have another business where you buy and lease out vehicles.
Yeah, it's rent to own.
Yeah. And
so,
that, dude, what's that market been like? I mean,
it's changed a lot. So prior to COVID, you know, cars were so plentiful that, I mean, it was like you couldn't go make a mistake in that business then. It was so many cars, and you go to the auction, I could go buy, if I needed 20 cars, I'd go to the auction and buy 20 cars. And then here comes COVID along, and we were all literally fighting over cars at the auction. We drove the market through the roof, and it almost just chokes that type, because that rent-to-own business is a math problem.
Yeah, it's just a huge spreadsheet.
Right. So it's not like, you know, what is this car worth on NADA? It's how close can we say to how much money we put in the street? And so when the cars that we normally were buying, you know, and our money in the street was short, you know, we didn't have to put that much money in the street, it was easy. But then as time moved on and this COVID thing happened, the shortage of cars drove the price up, but we wasn't getting any more money down, you know, so it wasn't,
so your margins
was getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, your margins.
And so, and then the more the economy squeezed and the higher everything got up, it's just made it tighter on people. They ain't got more money, they got less. And so the rent-to-own business has changed a lot in the last 5 years. I
didn't even think about it.
Which is why so many people have gotten out of it. You know, we've lost tons of competition. There's only, you know, a handful of us that do it in town left, you know, in any kind of scale.
Yeah.
And so I look for that to improve, you know, now that there's not as many people with their hand in the cookie jar. I've seen it.
What's the gap on, like, so typically those vehicles on the road are what, 8 to 12 years old?
Depends on what it is.
Depends on what model, kind of like you're talking about?
Trucks and SUVs I have to do a little bit older, not than 8 or 10.
So they can meet the
So I can get the math right.
Right.
So the cars I can do a little bit newer because they've depreciated more, and then trucks and SUVs, but they're typically more durable, so they last longer. So we can get, you know, 5, 6, 7 year old cars and maybe, you know, 6, 7, 8 year old trucks and SUVs.
Gotcha.
But I mean, you got to think a 10-year-old SUV now is a 2015.
Yeah.
That don't even sound old.
No, it don't. It's just it's really weird. I figure out what age do I think like stuff starts sounding old to me, right? It's weird because like
I think as you get older, it stays the same.
Yeah, it's weird,
you know?
because like I look back at like a 99 and I look at a 06 and that's a, you know, 7-year difference, but you know, but 2009 sounds newer.
Yeah,
it's weird, right?
Oh, I know.
Like anywhere from like.
Well, I went to a closing the other day, and I drive most of the time daily. I drive a 01 Chevy Silverado because I just like my truck.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, they were there at the closing, so they know what I made. And he's like, "How come you drive that old truck?" I'm like, "Hell, I like my old truck. You know, it's a freaking antique now. It's an 01.
Yeah, it's 24
you know, one
years
year
old.
It'll be
crazy.
Next year it'll be 25 years old.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't even sound old to me. You know,
well, it doesn't. It don't sound old to me either, and that's that's crazy.
I was working at Red River Chevrolet when that truck came out in '99.
Yeah.
I worked there for a couple of years when I was, you know, first moved over here, and so I actually met a lot of people that I'm still friends with. You know, do you know Tommy Wise that works over there? He's over the service department.
No.
Anyway, he come by we had the cruise night, jam night, Saturday night.
I know. I still hadn't been able to make one, dude. Every time I have a damn event going on.
It was so fun. We had. This was a good.
Let's segue right into that. So
well, but it was hot. So it's harder to get cars in the evenings when it's face melting hot.
Oh, of course. Well, first off, especially a lot of the guys ain't got no damn AC in the cars.
Right.
But
and it was like 100 degrees. But the jam turned out. We had a really good jam. A lot of musicians showed up.
That's what I wanted to talk about. So, like, in a caveat to the car restoration, you're doing band stuff, and y'all have like high-end guitars and stuff like that. So let's talk about all that too.
Well, so I'm not a musician at all, but my son is. And so when I first got the idea to boost the classic car business back up, I was over at the shop in Minden, and it was an old outdoor store. So they had a big old long thing that held guns in there. And so Mason had just started sticking guitars up there, like, because that was a place to put them. I was like, damn, that's a pretty cool place to put them. So I was like, that's how Fondren's Classic Cars and Guitars came about, because we were still coming up with that name. And then, so he was at 10 or so when he started playing guitar. He's 14 now. Immediately just always wanted another guitar, kind of got the bug. And I was like, boy, we're going to have to figure out a way to buy them.
Yeah.
Because I ain't buying all you these guitars. And so he just kind of started looking around on Marketplace. Well, he had got, just about the time he was 11, started playing some electric. And he bought some really cheap electric guitar. And I didn't think much of it. And he played it a little bit. Well, he done made a little money. Was fixing to buy another one. I said, boy, don't buy that. If you're going to buy something and collect it, learn all you can learn about it, as much as you can learn, and buy stuff worth collecting. And then you can learn about it, fix it, and make some money with it. And so I didn't expect him to take it to the extent he did, clearly, at 11 especially. And he learned everything he could about it. And then asked everybody that he thought was a professional on it about it. And he started buying and selling guitars then. Before he ever had a store, he was buying and selling guitars. So by the time we had that store, he already had him, 5, 6, 7 guitars on rotation that he was buying and selling. And so then he really got into playing electric. And he really don't play acoustic much anymore. He just plays electric. But he's done really good buying and selling guitars. And then so he played around town with his buddies and stuff like that. And we'd go to like the Noble Jam, and then a lot of these places they got to play. Some places they can't get into, they're too young.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the other places to get to, the sound quality of the system wasn't great, or the crowd was hard for them to get on stage because they had to fight their way up because they're young. So I was like, I'm gonna build a stage for y'all so y'all can play anytime you want to, because I knew my property crew could rip out a stage, just building the actual stage pretty easy. And then, but I didn't know anything about the sound.
Oh, AV.
How I would have known exactly what that was going to entail in the beginning, I might not ever built it. But so I went up to Mr. They ripped the stage, put it together pretty fast, and we was all, this is cool, and they jammed on it with whatever we had. And then I told Mr. Dykes, like, well, what are you planning on doing for sound? I'm like, I don't know, man. I guess we're going to go down to, Best Buy or something and buy some stuff. He's like, well, that's going to sound like crap. Yeah, and so Donnie Opperman, our guitar tech, has been, guitar tech for everybody. Steve Ray Vaughan, Joe Bonamassa, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. So he's done this a few times. He's like, well, if you want my help, I'll help you, but you got to do it right. That's all right. So we did it right, and it paid off. So it's been a lot of fun. It was a way big learning curve for me. We're steadily building and adding. We built the stage and then put the new PA in. We started with a little bit cheaper PA, and then I bought all new RCF stuff, and then we added light truss and stuff like that. So the lights have been pretty interesting for me getting involved in. That's pretty fun. And then we started having bands there. So last week we had an old country band named Exile came in. A few months ago, Saliva came, so we've had some Zebra came a few months before that. So we've had some pretty cool bands, and Creed Fisher's coming next month, and then Cody Cook and Bayou Outlaws are opening for them, Jackie Brock and them.
Shout out to Jack and Cody. Yeah, I know those guys.
And so they're going to be opening for them. And then looking at a couple other bands later on in the year. Jackal's one we're talking to about trying to nail a deal down with, and Saving Abel, trying to deal with them. So anyway, the concert thing is as fun as it can be. Our venue's small, so it's kind of intimate, so the cool part about it is if anybody that comes to one of our shows wants to meet the band members, they get to meet the band members.
That's cool.
Because it's a small venue.
Kind of reminds me of how it used to be at what was that rock bar we used to go to down here? God, man, someone's gonna talk shit because I don't know it off the top of my head. There used to be a bar right down here.
I know what you're talking about. I'm seeing it in my head, and I can't think of the name.
It's on the corner. Shit. I don't remember the name of that street.
I feel bad. I don't remember either.
God, man, but that was really cool because it was smaller. You would always have, you might could fit, maybe 500 people. Nah, right. I don't even know if you get 500 in there. But you would go in there, you had the bar and the stage in the back, and you didn't have much room and the little stuff. But it was cool because yes, everyone. I remember meeting so many bands like Seven Dust and oh man, I can't even think of the name of them, but a bunch of them I never would have gotten to meet had they not been in that small of a venue.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about it. That and everybody's not a bad seat in the house. It ain't big.
Exactly.
But
the warehouse. It was a warehouse.
The warehouse. Yeah, yeah. And that was a cool place.
Dude, that place was awesome.
But and so kind of like that, we've done a little bit different. we've had a few country concerts. Most of the stuff is rock, but we've done some country concerts too. Like the Exile concert was great. Super great guys, super professional. Everybody had a good time, and so.
And you get to pair it with like car show and stuff too, doing stuff like that's cool.
Yeah. So most of our car shows we do a jam.
Right, jam session, yeah.
Which is where we let anybody come play.
Yeah.
You know, so especially for young folks that are getting out, or even people that are just recently getting into playing, you know. So I can't think of anything more motivating to a young person. Because when you're learning an instrument, and I've never learned one, but I watched my son learn multiple instruments. And so that learning curve period of where you sound like crap, but you're trying really hard, but then you get to that point where you can play a little something, but you still ain't good. I think that's a discouraging time. And so being able to get on stage and play a song, there's nothing like getting on stage for an artist, because it's exhilarating. Like, and it's fun, and so it gives them a chance to. And they also are getting to play with. So if they come to the jam, they're playing with people that know how to play.
Yep.
So even if they don't play great, getting to play with them makes them sound better.
That's what I was about to say. You learn how to play with the band. It's completely different. You sitting over there in the corner playing by yourself, or playing with your buddies when you all suck. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's been the coolest part about it, is watching the ones that come in and it just lights their fire, you know. So then they don't miss a jam.
Yeah.
Then the next time they come, you can see how much they've improved in that month, because they went home and practiced their butt off because they wanted to sound better for the next show.
Yeah.
And you know, and there's not a lot of places you can just walk up on a full production stage, play on a $100,000 stage for free.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And so that's been fun, and watching Mason and them, you know, grow their band and do stuff like that. It's been fun.
Well, and it ties right into the classic car thing too.
And cool. I never realized that it would tie that close together. I've always loved live music, but I didn't realize how much those two businesses could coexist, and how many people that crosses over on.
Well, I mean, you have people who like. It's funny that I think about how many people I know collect guitars, and that also that have cars.
Yeah. Right. I know, and I run into them all the time there. I never thought about that, because I wasn't a musician. It never crossed my mind. And so, you know, I didn't have any classic guitars, but I loved cars. But tons of our customers, it's a crossover. You know, they'll be there doing something with their car, walk over to Donnie and Mason and get something done to their guitar.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty cool, and it gives it a different experience for people coming, because there's just not anything like that, you know, around. And so and then doing the music with it and having the stage, that's been a lot of fun. Like, I can't tell you put on a concert, that has just been it's addictive, honestly.
Yeah, I bet. I bet for sure.
But I will say that different generations, I've had a little bit of trouble reaching different generations to let them know about the venue and to get out and come see the concerts. So like Exile, where do you advertise for those customers?
Social media, man.
We was all over social media.
Yeah, that's it.
But a lot of that generation wasn't on social media.
Yeah, I know.
So we tried the radio, but
yeah, it's just and that's weird too, man. It's hard to get people out. It really is. It's hard to get people out just for a show. It's funny because I've been in scenarios to where I've seen a lot of great bands, like or a lot of good performers, even here. It's like Gary Clark Jr. I use that example. I probably used it a couple times on the show. Comes to Municipal, doesn't even sell half.
Right.
He's going to sell out anywhere else.
Right.
It's just a weird market.
I agree.
Because he's a phenomenal musician. One of the best guitar players I've ever witnessed. Tab Benoit, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal. Can't sell a place out. Like, I've seen Charlie Crockett. Before he hit now, so he's good. But before he hit, even when he had a huge fucking following, half the space. And then now it's like, yeah, of course it damn near sells out. But like, it's just interesting how, like, if you're not whoever, Morgan Wallen or whoever at the CenturyLink, it's like almost hard to get somebody out to a show.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
And it's unfortunate and discouraging, because these are great musicians, man, and great shows and good time and typically a great crowd, you know. And whereas you go somewhere like that, you're just looking at the jumbotron the whole time. You know what I mean? You're not. You have no
an intimate setting.
There's no intimate experience. Right. I think it's one of those things you got to
keep plugging away at.
Yeah,
and that's actually me and one of the guys from the managers from Exile had that conversation. He's like, you know, especially as a newer venue, you just got to keep swinging the bat till it catches. But it's tough. Well,
you're in a position now. What's great is that doubles as you're fine. You're not relying on that for where most places they get going, especially in this market, they get going and they have a few of those nights.
It's over.
And it's over for them,
Right.
where you can keep,
Yeah, we're doing it for fun.
Yeah.
We do it
That helps
there
a
is
lot.
there is a promotional.
Well, you
value
got to,
for
I mean,
us.
shit, you got to break even on it,
Right.
But still.
But really, in a small venue with a big, like a national act, it's almost impossible to break venue. I mean, break even.
Yeah, because you got down
And
the
then you
overhead
got to
side.
hope that everybody shows up. You know, so we've had like Saliva was a pretty big name, and we to the very end pushed like hard ticket sales, which I thought was going to be easy. And they put on a great show. Bobby Emery was super cool to the kids. Like they performed till 11 o'clock at night. He signed autographs. The whole band did signed autographs till probably midnight. And then Bobby got through after being out working all day with sound check and being putting on a hell of a show. Went in the guitar room and jammed out with Mason and his buddy Creed till 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he played the drums till that night. Just jammed in there with him. Super cool. And that's kind of, like Mason and them got to open for him, which is freaking cool. It's to be 14 years old. It's cool to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so they, but because it's a small venue, it's important to sell all the tickets, to get everybody out there. So, if people want good acts around here, they got to get out and support it. They got to go.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that's what people. And another thing is you got the all ages thing. That's great.
Yeah,
you can't find that. Like we have it out back, which works great. But we're not bringing in ticketed events. So bringing in a ticketed event with
all ages.
Yeah, all ages is great. It's a home run. Like. And people I think they don't know.
Oh yeah, because we bring a lot of people bring their kids to these. Oh, Saliva concert was full of kids.
That's awesome.
And at the end of the show, they brought them all on stage and let them do click, click, boom with them at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, how many? Even as a band, how many opportunities do they get to do that? Not much.
many. No, and Bobby actually said that in the middle of the concert. Talked about it. Like that was cool. That they all got to do that in that venue. And then the kids literally just all climbed up on stage.
That's awesome.
And did the click, click, boom with them. So it was fun.
Cool.
They loved that.
And they'll remember that the rest of their lives,
Yeah, I mean, there was like 25, 30 kids on stage with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little nervous.
It's like, oh, did y'all sign a waiver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a good time, and we ain't had a bad show with them with it yet. Everybody that showed up, every musician that's been there has been super professional, super cool. Everybody got along. I've not had one bad experience yet.
That's good. Well, you're not a bar. Changes
Right.
things when you're a bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What So what does it look like? Like what does this landscape look like? You think in the car market? Like just from just overall, not just a collector or a restoration guy or even like leasing these out, but just like what do you think? What do we look like? Because you have this constant argument about electric and gas, and then we have like hydrogen coming, looking like it's like. Do you look at any of that shit? Because I watch it all the time.
But I believe it'll definitely always change our daily drivers. I think that's changing. It's only going to make our classic car market better.
Yeah.
Because you may be a guy that's like, maybe a true car guy like me or you, but someday it may make more sense to drive an electric vehicle to work.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop you from wanting a gas-powered motor.
Yeah.
So that's going to make the people that may normally have not had they bought a newer truck, threw them some pipes on it, and that filled that need, right? Well, if they're driving an electric vehicle, that's not filling the need.
Yeah.
But so that person that might not would have had a hot rod as a toy, they may go buy one now.
Yeah.
Because they would need that, fun in their life.
Yeah. There's just something about hitting that gas and feeling everything. You know what I mean?
Torque. I mean, the electric vehicles are fast.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
It's like driving your golf cart fast.
Yeah, you're not hearing anything.
Yeah, I need to.
Well, there's no intimacy there. You know what
Right. I need to smell the rubber on the tires,
yeah.
the gasoline, the exhaust, the noise. I need it all.
Yeah.
And at some point in our probably lifetime, I'm going to say that the majority of the daily drivers are going to convert to something like that.
Yeah.
For the simplicity of it, really. I got some gearhead buddies that I never would have thought would own electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to pull up beside them in my daily.
I just got one of those electric motorcycles. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna bring it down here to ride around on stuff. And some of it like they move.
Yeah,
they move, dude.
Well, electric motors.
I know.
Wide open torque as soon as you gas.
Yeah, they move. But no, I mean, I wouldn't be against like having one. But I'm the same way. Where I always want to be. My biggest thing is there's very few. If you take everyone and lay them out, there's like say you have a group of me, you, and this market may be a little different, but say just put all of us randomly from this area in a room. There's 100 of us. There's probably only a handful that actually can work on what they drive.
Right.
And so that makes me feel good to be able to know that if what I'm driving, I can actually work on.
Right.
You know? And that
electric vehicle, you're not working on it.
No, you're just gonna have to put a whole new electric motor in. I mean,
Right.
what else do you do?
What are you swapping?
You're gonna take it all apart and rewire everything. I mean, you're just probably gonna have to put a new electric motor on it. But
Right.
like,
Or go get another one.
yeah. But like, no, it is. There's something cool about being able to work on your own shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, I mean, I got some stuff I need to do. You have cars. Like, there's always, especially
Always
if it's 20
something
years
to do.
old, there's always something to like. I'm always like, shit, I need to put a new, what was it, power steering pump on that Toyota because it just whines. It's just old. It's an original
always,
damn power
it
steering
is.
pump, and that was a pain in the ass to change too.
Yeah, I have to sit down and figure. I don't even know how many personal cars I have. I don't
Yeah.
even know. But there's always something to
Yeah.
do. Matter of fact, there's probably always at least one of mine somewhere in the vicinity being worked on.
Yeah.
Because I, get in it and something didn't work, so I put it in the shop. And if I can't fix it, I just let one of my other guys do it. So.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I fix my own stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty particular.
That's how. I mean, I'm OCD about like if I'm gonna keep it. If it's something like I'm buying to flip, like not buying a piece of shit. I'm gonna buy something I know is reliable. And if someone, but I don't do a lot of that. Recently, I hadn't done that, but I'll make sure it's something that I think I'd like, and I'll drive it for a little while. It feels like I have a new car for 2 or 3 months. You know? Even though it's like maybe a 10-year-old vehicle, it still feels new to me. Drive around for a little while, work the kinks out, fix whatever needs to be fixed, send on down the road, and it kind of fills that void for me for a little while.
Yeah.
But here recently with that market, I haven't been able to do that because, dude, there's not a lot of room.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine that runs an auction yesterday about that, just how that market has changed so much and how we can still do that in the late model stuff, but how difficult that's gotten in the classic car market.
I can
The only
imagine,
way
man.
I can buy cars and being them good enough to recon them and resell them is to buy collections. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's my favorite way to buy cars.
So when you're talking about collections, you're saying you're buying like 10 at a time?
Like the last collection I bought was
where do you
13.
find these at?
A lot of times they find me.
Okay.
Like people know we buy them.
These people are aging out?
Yeah, that's exactly
They're just
right.
like, they're getting too old to
so
mess with
sometimes
them?
I'm buying them from, somebody that realizes, hey, look, I don't want to leave this for my family. I want to make sure I get the most for them or know what I have. Because, a lot of times we've bought them, had to buy them from the family.
Because someone passed?
Yeah, and then kind
they
of
don't-
working through that. And that's much more difficult even for us.
Yeah, because you got
And they don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
And then you got to, it's a balance to making sure you're fair and they feel like they were treated fair.
Yeah, and also you're not getting something that's a piece of shit you didn't know.
Right.
That too.
Right.
Or
and like I've had those good and bad surprises. My wife's
bet.
67 T-Bird. I bought a collection from a lady and I wanted everything. And the only car I didn't buy from her was the T-Bird. And because I thought she wanted too much money for it. And I bought every other car she had. But my wife, I showed her pictures of all of them. The T-Bird's one she liked. 67 T-Bird, suicide doors. And so I called her and I was like, hey, look, actually my wife's interested. This isn't something I'm buying to sell. Would you make a deal with me? She goes, well, this is her. She knew what her daddy paid for all the cars. And so I said, well, I don't know why your dad paid this much money for the car because it's only worth this. And she said, I don't know. That's just what he paid for it. And I want to try to honor his will. I said, okay. So months went by and we kept coming back up. Ashley's like, what about that T-Bird? And I finally called the lady over in Texas. Hey, look, I'm just going to come buy it because she wants this car. And I mean, I've looked for other ones instead of that one and I couldn't find one as nice as that one. We still had to redo it, but it was a really good low mile Survivor. So got it, brought it to the shop. Ordered everything to go back through the motor and transmission and all the accessories, power steering, alternator, air conditioner. I wanted it all because it's going to be something she drove. Well, he tore the motor, started turning, nothing was fitting. And he's like, hey, man, this is a 390, ain't it? I was like, yeah, it looks like a 390. Like, I think that's the only option it had. Well, I go to looking and 428 was an option.
was it
So,
like a limited, like they're
very
only,
rare.
Okay.
So pulled it up, ran the numbers on the block, and it wound up being a 428. Well, that's why he had so much money in it.
Yeah.
Because it was very rare.
Yeah.
And so I called her back and said, well, now I know why your dad had so much money in this car. It was a 428 car, but it's FE blocks. They're identical. You can't just look at it and tell.
Yeah.
It looks the same. And so, but when you fired it up and took it down the road, it was no question what motor was in it. It's a beast. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a cool car. But so, things like that we run into pretty good bit.
That happens a lot with a lot of vehicles. People don't realize that significant options that weren't mentioned like to the public, and you
That
realize
made huge differences.
Yeah, you have like this 1 year model had this one motor,
Right.
or this one suspension package, and it's just like, man, like a, whatever it may be.
I was bidding on a 71 Corvette before I left here. One of the new car stores, somebody was trading it in, so they called me, want to know, what number to put on it. And he was like, "Oh, man,
so you still have people trading old shit for new cars?"
It's rare,
Okay,
I probably say I get that happens to me 5 times a year, maybe. But when they do get them, I know most of them from dealers and stuff, and they call me, and it was a super clean vet. But I was like, "Man, is it a LS5 or LS6 package?" And he's like, "I don't know. How much difference does it make?" It's about $50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was between the only really real difference in those is one of them is the 365 horse big block that came in it, and the other one was the 425 big block. But the LS6 was just so rare. If it's a true LS6, it's just worth that much more money.
That's insane.
So I actually don't even know yet. I'm still waiting to find out which one it has. Yeah, I told them where to look, and so they're gonna let me know here.
Oh, so they're trying to evaluate it for trade-in,
right? And they still want me to buy it.
Right,
but I said I need to know more information.
Yeah, I need to know what it is before I give you a number.
Yeah, but, so it is a super clean car.
I just think that's the wrong way to go. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Like, especially if you have something, I know a lot of people lose their ass trading in stuff.
Oh,
because they don't know what they have.
Well, situation like this, probably this person, I don't know them from Adam.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this is a scenario. Yeah. They probably either got it inherited.
Yep. They don't,
or it's something along
they don't care
that area.
about it.
They don't know much about it, and they just know, hey, I could take this. And
I need to go get me a new car.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know it's Grandpa had it and he loved it, but we don't give a shit about it.
I bought a lot of cars from grandkids.
Yeah.
And, or sometimes widows, things like that, and a lot of them just trying to get rid of them. Mason buys a lot of those guitar collections that way.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you can get a lot of steals on that stuff, because there's a lot of people that stuff just hanging around and never touch it.
Well, Mason, because he's young and unassuming, the people love him immediately.
Yeah.
And so he goes in there and they see a young man trying to work, make some money. I mean, I've left out of there where me and you wouldn't get no deal.
Yeah.
And he walked out of there, high-fiving himself.
Yeah.
And so
it's funny to me, he was talking about like unique packages and stuff. I probably think have kicked themselves in the ass on resale is Dodge, dude, with all these different damn Challengers. And the Chargers, like, dude, they can't be worth anything if they come off the lot.
Their resale is killing them.
Dude, and they'll finance those things to anyone, which is crazy. But dude, like, every time I turn around, I see like a Super B or a Bundle B or shit I've never even heard of. Like, I'm just like, man, they had this is my opinion. When they come out with that Challenger, when they remade that thing, it's like when they remade the Camaro. They had the perfect opportunity to capitalize on that market, but then they mass produced them and threw V6s in them with the same shit they did in the 90s or whatever. I guess in the really the 80s.
They've always done it.
Yeah, they've always done it. But like really hard. Like, they could have done something with that Challenger and made it so like you couldn't have touched it. And same thing with the Camaro, man. And they
just watered it to death.
Yeah, which is, man, dude, it's like there's a few you could get that are badass, but like you're gonna pay $150,000. Why would you do that? You just get a Corvette,
right?
Get a mid-engine Corvette and just fucking kick everyone's ass. Yeah. But that is crazy market to me that I've watched. I always watch all these markets, and like a lot of times, like I can talk to you about it, but I just can't talk about whoever. Like in my world, it's like I don't get to talk about this shit.
Right.
Like I pay attention to all that stuff. Like I'm the type of person that I'm driving down the road and I see something, I'm like, but I'm not only am I looking, oh, that's that. Oh, but that's the certain year model. They did this and this. Right. And I like that. I only like that. Oh, they changed the taillights there. That's the kind of shit I do. I'll just pay attention to stuff like that, and I don't know why. I just always have.
Car guru.
Yeah, I mean, something like it's fun for me. I don't do it with anything else, like no motorcycles or anything like that. I don't do it with that, but for some reason, just vehicles in general. And unique ones always, sleepers always catch my eye. When I say sleepers, I don't mean I'm saying like unique vehicles that are in the wild all the time that the normal person wouldn't notice, Oh,
right.
But the people that are driving know what they have. Yeah. Like that shit's always cool. Like when you see like a late model something pull up at a car show and you're like, damn, that's cool. No one gives a shit about that, but I do. It's cool.
Right.
That's an old Toyota or whatever, stuff like that. But I constantly see deals on Marketplace. I'm just like, I'd be like you. If I had the room and the funds, I would just, there would be so much shit I have that I never even drive it.
Oh man, we open up buildings sometimes, open up doors, like, oh man, I forgot this car was in here.
Yeah,
I need to drag this out.
Would you ever like just liquidate it and hang it up, or you think you can do this shit till you die?
No, I don't think so. I think somebody will be selling my stuff one day.
Yeah, you just gonna
I love
roll
them,
it. Yeah,
yeah. And I drive most of them. I don't get to drive them as much as I want to, but I drive most of them. You know.
I can only imagine because I just have those too, and I mean I try to drive one once a month. I just have too much stuff going on, man. Yeah. And it's way more convenient for me to jump in that truck where I can go anywhere,
right?
With AC seats and air blowing on
But
me.
you don't want to. You know, there's some places I ain't driving my car and leaving it.
There's some roads I don't want to drive it on either.
Right.
You know, I don't want a damn rock chip on my new paint job.
Right.
You know, like, or get behind
Which is a high
damn
possibility around here.
Yeah, or get behind a construction. You know, which is unfortunate because it's those funny things where like those guys. It's always funny doing the car show thing because those guys come out and it's the older generation people, and I get it. They have absolutely nothing else to worry about in the world.
Right.
They're retired. They worry about their lawn and their car. You know, and it's like, dude. You bought this son of a bitch. You drove it. Like, it might get wet. You brought it to a car show. Right. Somebody might rub it. Like, let's hope someone don't hit it or mess up the paint. But like, dude, it's gonna get a little dirty. It's gonna be okay.
I know. I got a buddy of mine that we go to, and I don't do a lot of car shows, but I do a handful.
Yeah.
We have our own, and I'm already busy. But he won't drive his cars to the car show. If it's very far, he just loads them up and hauls them. And I don't get that at all. I'm like,
well, I think the best part about it is getting with your buddies and you all driving there.
See, I tell people all the time, my preferred thing to do is like the cruise we do. Because we do it in the evening. It's not any, because really the judging takes the fun out of doing it anyway. Because people it ain't usually picking what's the nicest car. Most people wind up voting on, because they ain't got professional judges.
No.
They got their buddy judging the cars. And they always just pick the stuff they like. Mm-hmm. You know, it could be the crappiest car done there. You know, the worst quality, but if it's a car they like, that's what they vote on. And then everybody else gets bent out of shape.
I put one on every year. It's up north. It's called Classics and Coffee. And dude, some of these old fellas, they come there every year, or just old ones will swing through, and like they get so butt hurt. I'm like, look, man, we're here to have fun, and I have car guys judging them. Like, if you're available, I'll have you come out this year. But it's like I have guys that look at it and like, look, man, you got a lot of nice cars, so like we got to have a competitive edge here. What's the decider? Is the motor? You know, there's specific things on the motor that looks better than this one because if the paint jobs are both flawless, like stuff like the interior better, you know.
What's the braking?
Yeah, like what's the tie brake? And it's different because every single individual car is different.
Right.
So it can't come down to the paint job if this one has like I don't know, we're talking about overall, this is original, but it's flawless, and you have one that's a rest of mine. It's got a brand new paint job. Like, so there's different.
Hard to compare those.
Right, but these people get so bent out of shape no matter who wins. It's like we do the awards and everybody's like, and they walk off. I'm like, dude, this shit is for fun. Nobody wanted, like, we do like a little cash prize for the overall, but I'm like, you got one little $20 plaque. You know, who gives a shit?
I know.
But they take that shit serious.
Yeah, we was down at a show down at in Coshada, the lake, Grand Bayou.
Yeah.
And a lot of the car club was, the local car club from here was down there. And, none of them won anything. But, I mean, it was a bunch of crappy trophies, like them.
Yeah.
Which I could fill this room up stacking them with.
Yeah.
And they was all bent out of shape because they didn't want, my trophy. I said, look, man, if y'all want some trophies, swing by the shop. I'll fill your trunk up with them. You can have them. I don't want them. I don't even know what to do with them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we're really going to be upset over this? I didn't even care that we didn't win. And so me and Mason was in the 62 Impala at a car show over at the old Hamels. This has been a couple years ago, and about 150 cars there. And that 62 was bad.
Yeah.
And I sold it since, but it was 62 Impala that we built, and they gave away 5 hand-built trophies. Mm-hmm. Like they built them out of carports. One of them was a camshaft with some stuff on it. One of them was like a gear and some planetary. Cool. It was really cool.
That's cool shit.
Super cool trophies. Well, they gave away 5 trophies, and that car won out of 150 cars, and that car won 3 of them. So there was some pissed off people.
That's what happened. Putt? Dude, he brought his car to one of those. I did like a show and shine. I did a couple years down South Shreveport, and I was like, dude, you can't bring that shit here no more. I was like, these old people are pissed.
Yeah.
Because it's like fucking bagged out. And
right.
Or even that when he had that new Impala, like I was like, dude, he would win everything. And I'm like, you can't argue with it. The thing was flawless.
And it's bad as bone.
Flawless and like $200,000 car. Like, you're going to win. Them old people was pissed, boy.
Oh, yeah.
It was hilarious. Yeah. But it happens, man. It happens with the car show. The car show scene's funny. It's just like the barbecue comp scene that I'm part of, man. It's the people get so bent out of shape. I'm like, look, man, at the end of the day, we're doing this shit for fun. And you're all learning from each other. Like the car's different because it's kind of like a, pissing competition. The barbecue thing, it's like, dude, who did better?
Right.
You might have the best ribs last weekend. This weekend you got your ass kicked.
Right.
Take the ass whooping and keep on get better.
What did he do?
Yeah, go find out how he did it.
Right.
Yeah, shit. Or who ate it that day. Last
Right.
week might have been somebody different.
Right.
You know?
Like something different.
Same thing with judging.
Right. Oh, judging so much. You know, I don't know if anybody ever notices this, but I ain't trying to tell their secret. But you go to the World Wheels?
Man, I haven't been in years.
Okay.
I haven't been in years.
Well, the World Wheels has it figured out. Do you know how you ever notice that a lot of the same people go and
Yeah.
they just keep building? Well, if you ever put a car in the World Wheels?
No.
Well, on most car shows, when you sign up for a car show, you know, you put your car in a category.
Yeah.
Whether you're like, you know, pre-1965
Right, or OG or,
yeah.
or
Well,
truck.
You
or
don't
whatever.
do that in World of Wheels because they don't create the categories till after the show's full.
That makes sense.
That's why everybody that enters the World of Wheels gets a first, second, or third trophy.
That makes
Nobody
sense.
goes home with nothing.
Nobody's pissed off.
No, that's how they keep everybody coming back.
They got it figured out.
That was brilliant.
And they keep people coming.
Right. So if you get a first place trophy, it don't say truck division. It just says first place, just like all the other first place trophies. Because they didn't create the category till after it was closed.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, it's a good plan. We already got the categories for that one upstate. I don't care.
Yeah. So,
right.
So that's they're building their show that way.
Well, and that was one time I had somebody was just cruising, and they brought in a Bronco, and I was like, dude, we do not have. It was one year we did not have a truck, or we didn't have a 4-wheel drive, whatever the category was. I was like, dude, we don't have a truck here. I was like, so if you just want to enter, you're gonna win. I said, he's like, well, shit, all right. How much? He's like, $20. Give it to me. He wanted them because he was just happened to be the only one.
Right.
We already had the category built, and the trophy was there, so it was like, you're a shoe-in,
I've
buddy.
had car shows where we built categories and nobody showed up for that category.
Yeah. You can never do it right either. It's like I try to do like 4 or 5 categories, and then you have so much overlap, and then someone will bitch and say, well, I don't really know, it's custom, it ain't rest-of-mine. I'm like, dude, well, technically, if it's not original, it's a rest-of-mine.
Right.
I'm sorry to tell you.
Right.
It's not a hot rod or a custom. A custom would be something you physically fucking built that was not off of the shelf.
That's right.
That's a custom. Right. And a rest-of-mine is anything that you've done any alteration to that's not original. Well, we did have this one guy, I can't remember what, it was an Oldsmobile, I believe, and he come in with the OG original. And some of these guys had technically original, but not really, because of new parts and stuff. I was like, dude, he wins. Like, because the judges were asking me, was like, dude, he wins. Like, he has the paperwork from when it was registered, when it was purchased.
Damn.
I'm talking about the most original car I've ever seen. And he had a bunch of stickers on the back where he won a bunch of comps and been with these riding clubs or whatever. And I was impressed with that vehicle, man. It was, I can't remember what it was, dude. I believe it was an Oldsmobile. It might have been a Lincoln. It was similar to a lot of those you have. But just to see, like, one you had as original. But, like, this one, when I say original, I'm talking about original paint, like, not restored original. Which is cool.
Several of my Lincolns are all original paint.
That's right. You told me that. Yeah. But a lot of people have original, but then they'll update the paint or something.
Right.
But that's what the argument was with those people. I was like, I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, if we're saying original,
oh, dude,
that's the only original one here.
I bought a '69 Mach 1 about 2 weeks ago. Rode with a buddy of mine over to Texas. We were looking at some old school signs and stuff the guy had.
Yeah.
And didn't even know the guy had a car for sale. And he's aging out, so he was selling stuff out of his shop. I seen the Mach 1 sitting in there, and I asked him about it. Of course, any old guy at his place, and you ask him about his old car, he was happy to tell me.
Oh, hell yeah, he can tell you everything.
35 minutes later, he finished telling me about the car, and it was an original 45,000 mile, black and red, 69 Mach 1. I was like, oh, man, how much you want for it? He goes, I ain't quite ready to sell it yet. I was like, all right. So we get to looking, and then he had some other stuff, like some tacks and horse stuff, so I bought that from him, and trying to get him loosened up a little bit. And kept coming back to the car. Finally, I was like, man, what will it take for me to be able to buy this car? And he said, I don't know, man. So long story short, we finally negotiated on something, and so I was just going to go, since I was riding with somebody, I was going to come back and get it. Well, my wife called, and one of my horses had got hurt back in Shreveport, and so I needed to get back like right then. So I called, and my banker called him. I said, who do you bank? Because the wire was going to take too long. I needed to leave then. And so my banker went and got money out of my checking account, drove to his brand bank, deposited the money in his account, and then I hauled ass in a Mustang back.
Hell
I
yeah.
drove it 120 miles back from Texas.
Hell yeah.
And I was 90 miles an hour.
You know it's good then.
Yeah, I already sold it.
Oh, you
It's
did?
in Wichita, Kansas now.
Hell yeah.
I never sell but for a few days.
Damn.
It was an all original 45,000 mile car.
That's
one of the
crazy.
funnest, because it's true survivors, man. I mean, I build cars, so obviously I promote building cars.
Yeah.
But my favorite cars are low mile true survivors.
Oh, are you in the survivor groups on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, I love them. Dude, I love that shit.
the feel of the car when it's never been taken apart is just different.
Yeah.
You know, and so like I jumped in that Mach 1, cranked the radio and the air up, cruised at 90, 100 miles an hour all the way back.
Yeah.
And it didn't miss a beat. Just like I was in 1973 or something. The car had 45,000 miles on it.
That's
We was
awesome.
just rolling.
That's awesome.
And, you know, like one of my Mark 5s I bought, it's just like my first car that I still have. I bought it, had 1,400 miles on it. The lady was, I talked to her grandson. The lady was 4'11". She bought the car brand new, Cartier, drove it for about a month, went to some function. Her friends picked on her for driving such a big car because she was so little. She was so offended, drove it home, never drove it again. Kept plates on it. I still got the plates. She kept plates on it until 1986. It's a 79. And then they pulled the plates and it sat in a climate control garage till she passed away and her grandson sold it.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, they reached out to me from a Lincoln page on.
Yeah.
They had actually seen a picture of my car I'd posted when it was original. Because it's the actual color that mine was when it was brand new. And I'd posted a picture when I was a kid of mine when my grandmother, mom and him still had it. And he's like, hey man, I got a car you're going to want. I was like, well, that's pretty bold.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm finna send you a picture of it. And he sent me a picture of it and he goes, it's got 1,420 miles on it.
You're like, bullshit.
I said, you're right. You have my attention.
Yeah.
And so I bought it and I put a couple, it's probably got, you saw it. I drove
Yeah, I saw that look.
It's got about 3,500
Yeah.
miles on it now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. it's
That's
a cool
crazy.
car.
Well, dude, let's wrap this thing up. We're going to have to do this again. Talk more
man.
cars. So I can do this all day. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
me too.
But, yeah, dude, any last plugs or anything you want to mention before we shut down?
Well, we got the Creed Fisher show coming up September 27th.
Okay.
So that's going to be a good show. Cody Cook and the Bayou Outlaws are open up for them. And then we have our cruise night once a month. It's usually the second Saturday of every month. It's a totally free thing we do. Live music, food trucks are there. We've got all kind of other vendors that show up, and all of that's free. We don't charge any of the vendors or anything. And so it's always a really good time. So if you're a car person or a music person, it's a free event, and it's all inside, live music, air conditioned, good place to cool off. You know, so it's always a good time. So
Cool. Well, cool, man.
Well, man,
Enjoyed it
appreciate you
today.
having me on the
Yes,
show,
sir.
man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right.